Bob Schieffer joining us throughout the evening as we now hear the chants of USA, USA. Bob, it was interesting. It was something of an understated opening to the evening. You were actually looking at some of the seats not yet filled here in the upper half of the bowl, the Quicken Loans Arena. What have you made thus far of the evening?
Well, Donald Trump said he wanted a celebrity. He wanted glamour, something to pep up this convention. And so we got the star of Duck Dynasty and a young man who I'm sorry I can't recall his name, who was in Scott Baio.
Yeah.
So I guess we got started with some non-politicians there. But
Donald Trump is somebody who frequently referred to his success on television. He would discuss his ratings like most candidates might discuss their poll numbers. He has referred repeatedly to, again, his successes in the field of entertainment and really ran, it felt at times, his primary campaign as though it were a television show, frankly, as if it were some variation of The Apprentice, where every debate somebody got a new nickname and they were soon voted off. Do you see, though, when we get here, something, Leslie, you and I talked about today as well, do you see when we get to something that is actually TV, a 4-day event that is actually really all about optics and narrative, do you see him being able to get over the bar that he has raised for himself in terms of entertainment value?
You know, I just don't know the answer to these questions. I mean, this is so different from the political conventions that I'm used to. This is a party that's going through an identity crisis right now. The establishment sees its party as one thing. These people who voted for Donald Trump and got him the nomination, they think they were rejected by the establishment. They see an entirely different Republican Party coming out of this. And can they bring this together? I don't know. And I guess we're going to find out and get some clues of that as this thing unfolds. But this is, you know, the way that this convention got off, you know, with the host governor, John Kasich, not even showing up. And then the first kind of, you know, movie star we were supposed to see is the guy from Duck Dynasty. Well, that's great, but I mean, that's not exactly, you know, Bradley Cooper or some, you know.
It's not an A-list star, yes.
I did not see any of these people at the Academy Awards. So I don't know what that matters, or I don't know what it means, but it just adds to the kind of unusual way this has all come about. I mean, like the rollout of Mike Pence as the running mate. You know, and Trump spoke for 28 minutes. The question was, is he ever going to let Pence talk?
And paying lip service to party unity, but really in the next breath seeming to say, I don't really care if the party unifies. Whoever's coming with me is coming with me, and that's going to be the GOP of the present.
That very much so. Very much so. I think that really kind of sums it up.
Is it the time, however, to be forging a new GOP? Is this too late in the process? Should we be having these discussions night one of the convention?
Well, I mean, I think one of the questions will come out of this convention is you know, the most important thing is who wins the election, you know, but what happens to the Republican Party after this? Is it the same party? I don't see how it can be. Does it regroup and go back to some of its old principles, or does it strike off in a different direction? And that's going to be one of the overriding questions of this whole campaign, it seems to me. I mean, the numbers, when you look at the numbers, they're very much against Donald Trump. You know, he has very high negatives among women. He has very high negatives among Hispanics. He is going to get absolutely no African-American votes, I mean, so to speak, and I don't think they're counting on it. You look at this convention out here, and it's overwhelmingly white.
18 African-American delegates in total.
And I think that is probably less than 1%, probably the lowest number of African-American delegates, even lower than Barry Goldwater's convention in 1964. So how does he put together, you would have to have an overwhelming white turnout and white vote to elect him. The thing I always point to is Mitt Romney got a larger percentage of the white vote in 2012 than Ronald Reagan did in 1980. We know who won in 1980, and we know who lost in 2012. Can they get that kind of an overwhelming white turnout in order to win? Because if they're going to win, that's what they have to do.
Well, he's also going to have Republican voters voting for him. And recent polls suggest that in light of likely Republican voters, right now he's between 75 and 80%. But to win, he certainly will have to be in the 90s. Can he do and orchestrate something here in the 4 days that can pick up those 10%?
What he has to do is make this election about Hillary Clinton. A Republican said to me yesterday, if this election turns out to be about Donald Trump loses. If it turns out to be about Hillary Clinton loses. So that's where you're going to see a very personal, a very negative campaign, not just from Donald Trump, but from Hillary Clinton as well.
Indeed.